So you can see it's different backgrounds, different majors that they study, but yet God called them, and that's why they're here. So I'm Father Cesar Martinez, Director of Vocations for the Diocese of Stockton, and actually this is already 2 years. When Bishop asked me, I was so happy at the cathedral for 4 years, and then he asked me if I could help with promoting vocations, which I was already helping, but he wanted me to do it in a full-time level. And that's, I was honored to help in that aspect, a very important ministry within our diocese, because without seminarians, we won't have priests. So that's why I want to kind of give an update on vocations. So first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. I was ordained on June 6, 2015, so it's been 6 years already. And honestly, I wouldn't be here without your support. And I'm thinking about, just all the people in our diocese. But obviously, of course, the Knights of Columbus, who help us. Both of the Modesto and Stockton Sarah Clubs, the Young Ladies Institute, the Families for Vocations and Healing, and just individual families from parishes. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Again, I would not be here without that help. I was in formation for 7 years at the seminary. After finishing, I graduated from Stanislaus State in Computer Information Systems, but I felt called to the priesthood, and I said, well, I better go and see if this is for me or not. And it was, and that's why I'm here. And now it's an honor for me to work with this man, but also have the desire. That's deep in my heart because I was there, and I knew how hard it was. I know how difficult it was for me because I wanted to get married. But yet, God is calling me to this. So it was difficult, 2 years of discernment. Not easy, but it was all worth it. And I'm glad I listened to the voice of God. And that's why I wanted to go to St. Patrick's Seminary to see if that was for me or not. And I'm glad I did. And as I said, I'm 6 years ordained now. So thank you for your support. As Director of Vocations, I don't work by myself. I have a great team. And this is, just the priests, but there's also a lot of, deacons, a lot of wonderful lay people behind the scenes that they're helping me in this vocations team. But of course, we're led by our bishop, Myron Cora, and then Father Tom Orlando, Father Ernesto Madrigal, Father Matthew O'Donnell, Father Adrian Cisneros, who's here, and Father Larry Machado. So they all help me in this process. A vocation, the word vocation, it comes from a Latin word, vocare, which means to call. To call. God is the one who is calling. A vocation is a call from God. We all have our own vocation, our own mission in this life. As Catholics, obviously, all of us will fall into one of these categories, these vocations, marriage, priesthood, religious life, that's men or women, consecrated single life, again, men or women, and then some who are deacons as well, serving the church. Bishop Blair always reminded me, hey, Caesar, we all share the same main vocation, and that is, we are all called to follow Christ, to be holy, and to be saints. He always reminded me of that. I thank Bishop Blair because I think obviously he ordained me, and then he was a big supporter of seminarians. And the prayer that we're going to be praying at the end of the night is a prayer for vocations. He was the one who wrote that prayer. So I know that he's praying for us, interceding for us from heaven. This French author once wrote, "The only tragedy in this life is not to be a saint." The only tragedy in this life is not to be a saint. I want to be a saint. I hope that you also want to be saint. That is our main vocation, to be saint, to be holy. Why the need to pray and to support priestly vocations here in our diocese? I want to give you kind of an overall picture of our priests here in our diocese. We have a total of 35 parishes in our diocese. We have a total of 97 priests. Out of those 97, 77 are active priests serving at a parish. But also we have retired priests, 15, who are still helping with masses. They're probably more busy than before. You know, as a priest, I guess you never retire. You continue to serve God's people. And we're thankful for them. And we also have 5 priests who are on duty outside the diocese, working outside the diocese. So you can see 97 priests. The nationalities, where do they come from? Well, of course, where they come from, families. They don't come from a tree. But these are obviously from the U.S. We have 30 of them. From India, we have 14 of them. The Philippines, 14. Mexico, 12. Colombia, 11. Vietnam, 7. Portugal, 3. Nigeria and Ireland, 2 each. And Australia and Poland, 1 each. Now, I want you to see this one now. This is the age of our priests here in our diocese. From 30 to 40, we have 10. I think I fall under that category. Okay? I'm getting closer there, but I'm still there. So we had 10. 41 to 50, 22. But then look after this. From 51 to 60, we have 30. 61 to 70, 19. And 70 plus, 16. So really, above 51, it's about 70% of our priests. That tells you that they're retiring soon. And the question is, who will be the priest for your children, for your great-grandchildren? That is the question. It's so important. Without the priest, there is no Eucharist. Without the Eucharist, there is no church. We need our priest. And of course, we need God's people as well. We're working together. Now, this is a few years ago. This is not too far. But a few years ago, we had 10 seminarians here in our diocese. So we have, I'm here as Father Tom, Phil. Actually, he was studying at UOP and then was a seminarian a few years for our diocese, but then realized, you know what, my home diocese is San Diego. He was just studying here, so he went back and actually he got ordained. He's a priest for San Diego. Mary, that's okay. You know, Father John No got ordained. Father Joseph, Father Adrian is here. Father Ernesto, and then Abraham actually switched diocese and he just got ordained for Monterey. And actually, Sister Wanda, I thank Sister Wanda because she was my director of vocations. You know, without her help, I would not be here. So she did it for 18 years. These are last 2 seminarians that were ordained. Now they're priests, and one of them is Father Adrian and Father Larry. The other one, they got ordained on July 6, 2019. Just ordained. Yeah. So, what are we currently doing to promote vocations here in our diocese? Well, one of them I hold. Out of the 12 months of the year, 10 of those months, I know it says every month, but we take a break during the summer. But we have a discernment dinner, discernment gathering, where young men who feel called, you know, or just have the thought about being a priest, they come to a dinner, we pray together, we eat together, and then we discuss on a specific topic on the priesthood. We follow this book, A Guide for Discerning a Vocation to Diocesan Priesthood. Wonderful book. This book has helped many of our seminarians in making this big step to going to the seminary. Also, another big thing that we did is we created parish vocation committees. The idea is that every parish will have it. We were doing pretty good. Probably more than half of the parishes had a committee, but then when the pandemic hit, then many of those kind of died. So now our goal is to kind of help them to now letting them know, now we have 7 seminarians, more than ever. We need you. We need your prayers. And this Bible quote, Luke 10:12, is deep in my heart, because that's what, Jesus said. The harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So ask the master of the harvest to send out laborers for his harvest. We've been praying. That's why we have 7 seminarians here. Everything starts with prayer. Since I, became the director of vocations, every day at Mass or just on my own prayer, I always pray the prayer of vocations, which Bishop Blair wrote. This is one of the pictures of our priests and a family that is taking a traveling cross. So they're taking this cross and praying for vocations. So the whole week the family is praying for vocations to the priesthood, religious life, and also for holy matrimony. This is also another picture of this is the cathedral, a traveling chalice that they have. And also the same thing, a family takes it the whole week and they pray for vocations. So why promote in our parishes? Well, a vocation begins in the family. Priests come from families. They don't come from a tree. They do come from a family. And when the faith of the family is strong, the vocations will flourish. Praying the rosary at home, that's an example. Devoted prayers, reason for the vocations. Once we know the families are the base for vocations, where do families receive their formation? Well, in parishes. I want you to take a look at this. When does someone consider a religious vocation? From 30 years or older, 4%. 25 years old to 29, 2%. 19 to 24, 19%. I fall under that category. But look at this one. 13 to 18 years old, 53%. This is the age when they live at home. They go to Mass. They're forced, but they go. And they go to catechism. Maybe they're forced. I know, that's probably why I went to church. But it worked, And then before 13 years old, 22%. So 53%, this range. We need to take a look at that. Promoting vocations at Catholic schools. I know when I was at Annunciation, I used to visit the kids. I knew the teachers. They knew me, and they said, just walk in anytime. You don't need to tell me, just walk in. So for me, it was so easy. I will go. Honestly, the children really inspire me. Sometimes it was if I was having a bad day, I knew where to go, because I know those kids will, kind of give me energy. And then the questions that we'll ask, especially the kindergartens, the first graders, the second graders, it was amazing. And for me, I knew where to go. For me, instead of joining a gym to exercise, instead I went and played at the playground with the kids. And the teachers were there, so I just enjoyed playing with them, kickball, wherever they were playing. So that for me was promoting vocations. I knew their names. And that's one of the things I really miss from not being at a parish and with the school. But I know that what I'm doing is necessary, and I know that God has called me to do this, and I'm happily doing so. Actually, this little boy wants to be a priest. He's from French camp. At that time, he was 4 years old. Now he's a little older. I think he's going to turn 8 pretty soon. He's in the process of receiving Holy Communion. He's so excited to receive Holy Communion. But he wants to be a priest. He plays the Mass. That's why he has his vestments. I think Bishop met him. That's why, he's there. And it's an incredible boy that, just God called him, and he has that desire. And I don't know if he will be a priest, but I know at this age, he has that desire. And I think God planted it in his heart. Also, another thing that we did 2 years ago, actually, Bishop, he decided to resurrect this house of formation. It's called St. John Vianney House of Formation. It's by UOP, University of the Pacific in Stockton. And this has been a great blessing. The 4 seminarians, the 4 new seminarians, they lived there with me for the last, some of them for 1.5 years, but most of them for about 6 months, maybe 5 months. And let me tell you, for me to be with them, it has been a blessing. The experiences that we experienced there, just having Mass together, praying the liturgy of the hours together, having adoration together, and just sharing a meal or just conversations. Sometimes we're hours just talking. And without the cell phones, no need for cell phones. And they can tell, sometimes it was like 3 hours, 4 hours just talking. And that's what the House of Formation does for us. Bishop blessed the house about 2 years ago, September 15 of 2019. These were the original that kind of started. Saul actually is a seminarian now. And the other ones decided, not to continue, which is okay. That's what the house is there for, to discern at a local level. And here's Bishop blessing the house and just the people that went. Here's our chapel at the house. That's where we have Mass, adoration for them. Here exposing the Blessed Sacrament. They also have household chores, so they learn how to clean the house. Many of them, they don't know how to. They never did their laundry. Well, I had to teach them. This is how you do your laundry, So but it's a good experience. Good experience. They also learn to cook. Here we have Josue cooking. So it's amazing. But also we have fun too. We go, I take them out for bowling, just to enjoy life and have fun. And also, obviously last year was difficult during the pandemic, but before the pandemic, on the weekends, so they will be with me Monday through Friday, and then the weekends they went home. And then they help at a parish serving at Mass. And when the pandemic started, these are 3 seminarians that heard the call. The 3 of them, Patrick, Saul, and Josh. I'm so blessed for them that they heard the call and they went in. And it was difficult for them to be in the seminary during the pandemic, but they managed to do it. Thank you for your perseverance. And this is the prayer that we send to parishes so that they can pray for them and to let them know where they're from. I don't know if you pay attention, but many of our seminarians, they come from the south of the diocese, Turlock area, Ceres. So they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but there's something. I know I'm in Stockton. I said, we got to step it up, So, but we're working together. And this is our seminarians. Actually, one of the vocations committees, actually from here, from this wonderful parish, they sent a care package to them. So imagine being at the seminary, studying there, and receiving from one of your communities, receiving a care package. What's in there? Things like toothpaste, maybe shaving cream, I don't know. Use different. It's a care package. I don't know if they use it because many of them have a beer, but they send it to them. Okay? And these are our 4 newest seminarians. They just got accepted by the St. Patrick's Seminary and by our bishop at the end of last month. And we're so blessed that they will be joining our 3 wonderful seminarians. And now we'll have 7. What a blessing it is. What a blessing. 7 seminarians. And use the talent with them. When I go to the seminary, I talk to the rector, the faculty, they always tell me, hey, the Stockton guys, we're so happy with them. And that for me, gives me courage to continue to support them and to be there for them. So the need, what's the need? Well, it's obvious. Obviously we have 7 seminarians, and it says here, the Diocese of Stockton currently has 7 promising young men who are discerning a call to the priesthood as they attend St. Patrick's Seminary and University. The road to becoming a priest is lengthy, challenging, and expensive. It's critical that we support these extraordinary young men who are following this journey of discernment with Christ. Our diocese provides the full cost of seminarian education, which is approximately $50,000 per year for each seminarian. So you can tuition, room, and board is about $42,000, and then there's about $8,000 with other medical expenses, books, a stipend. So it's about total $50,000. So that's the cost. Many of you don't know that reality. It used to be about $35,000, and then it has just gone up. But that's what it takes. So the cost to attend seminary per year for each seminarian is $50,000. So it now takes about 7 to 8 years to become a priest. It used to be 7, now they're adding an extra year of spirituality. So 7 to 8 years, it's a long journey. So that's why it's so important to pray for them, but also to support them financially as well. So I know some of you received a folder when you came in, and if not, they will be giving you one as you maybe before you go home. But in these informational folders, you will have, please take the information in the folders at your table and let your group members or friends know about our need. So many of you are representing the Knights of Columbus, the Sarah Club, all these different organizations. Well, let them know. Maybe if you were doing a fundraiser before, now, hey, we have more seminarians now. Maybe we were supporting one. All the councils, can we do 2? Or I don't know, but we are at a moment where we have to be creative. We have to think outside the box. And the same with all the groups, but also just individual families who are able to help with whatever it is. I think it will help us a lot. And if you also, in the folder, you will find a form that has an envelope as well. And then the donation form, it's if you want to give a donation toward the seminarians. It's for seminarian education specifically. So anyways, the information is there. That is our need. And I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your generosity. And I hope that as you go back, you're able to tell the members of your groups or just family or friends that you know who might be able to help us to achieve this common goal, to help our seminarians. So with that, thank you so much. And I will now invite our seminarian Joshua, we have several Joshuas, but actually it's Josue, which also it's in Spanish, but the name is also Joshua. So I will invite at this moment Josue Montoya, who would share with us his vocation story.